Dude, I'm really scared for this economics test.
Dude, insanity.
Like, I have honestly like no idea about monetary policy. Like, is there anything you could show me that could help me out?
Yeah, I got a couple things we could talk about for monetary policy. I feel like they're pretty crucial for the test. You know, we really need that A.
Yeah,
so,
that'd be close. That'd be close.
Got you. So, let me just go over this stuff on board. You said monetary policy?
Yeah, monetary.
Monetary. Monetary policy. So, there's three things that the Fed does.
You mean like the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the people that make all the monetary policy they conduct it to help fix the economy.
True.
So they have like three tools that they usually use to either increase the money supply or decrease the money supply. Right. So one of the first tools they use is the reserve requirement.
Okay.
Do you remember what the reserve requirement does? Or
I don't actually. Could you remind me?
yeah, reserve requirement is the amount of money, the percentage that they have to keep in reserves that they can't loan out.
Like the bank?
Yeah, like
Okay,
the bank.
okay.
So like for example, if the reserve requirement was like 20%, that means that out of the bank they have to keep 20% so they can loan out.
So they can loan out 80%.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So second tool that they use, is the discount rate. So this is basically the interest rate, but this is for what the interest rate the bank pays towards the Fed if the bank needs money from the Fed.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. And now this is probably the biggest one. So tell me what you know about open market operations.
I believe those are, it's part of expansionary policy, correct?
That's like half of it, but it also has to do with contractionary as well.
Oh, okay. So expansionary and contractionary both
Yeah.
utilize open market operations is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So open market operations is basically like bonds, depending on the situation, like the Fed will either buy or sell bonds from the bank. So this little chart I have up here, what I'm going to be describing is these tools and what you should do to either increase the money supply, which would help the economy, such as if they're in a recession, they would need to increase the money supply so like more people have more money, you know what I mean? Help stimulate the economy, but decrease the money supply. That'd be if they're in too much of an inflation, they need to tone it down a notch. Yeah? Got it?
Yeah.
All right, so if they need to increase the money supply, they would need to decrease the reserve requirement. That means the amount they keep in reserves. So if they went from 20%, they'd go down to 10%. That means now they have 90% that they can loan out, meaning more money is out in the economy that they can use, right?
So that would be part of expansionary policy is what you're saying?
Yes.
So maybe like solve a recession or something?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
But if they were in inflation, they would want to increase the reserve requirement, meaning like they would have to keep more into the reserves, 30%. So like let's say if it was $1 million out there in the bank, if they have 30% as a reserve requirement, that means $300,000 they would have to keep on deck. They can't like loan it out. That's less money out there. Now discount rate. If they want to increase the money supply, you gotta decrease the discount rate. Meaning it's more like the banks will look at the Fed discount rate and be like, oh, that's a little cheaper than last time, They'd be more likely to, get money from them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? But on the contrary, they'd want to increase it if they want to decrease the money supply. Because if it's higher, they don't want to borrow,
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't want to borrow, they can't do anything out there in the economy, such as purchase big ticket items or like durable goods such as like cars or like pay for rent, things you would usually use loans for. Now, for open market operations, if you want to increase the money supply, you have to buy bonds. Buying bonds, tell me about it.
So in open market operations, the Federal Reserve would buy bonds from the general population in order to put more money into the economy, correct?
You got like half of it.
Okay.
So like open market operations, yeah, the Federal Reserve buy bonds, but it's from the bank. So they would buy bonds from the bank, and because of this, the Fed would give money in exchange for those bonds. And if more money goes into the banks, they would have more money that they can lend out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Now to decrease the money supply, you gotta sell them. So now the bank is paying for the bonds. More money is leaving from the banks, creating less money supply. And because of buying and selling bonds, or any of these tools, when you increase the money supply, this also decreases interest rates. And like because of decreasing interest rates, people like businesses or just general households, they'd want to like get loans out, borrow from the bank, and as a result, they can buy, like I said, like cars, rent, things that are pretty expensive that you need the bank for. But if they want to decrease the amount of spending and investment out there, as a result, they use like contractionary policies to decrease the money supply. I want to talk about kind of like how monetary policy can kind of affect the dollar, like our imports and exports. I don't know if it'll be on the test, but it's still good to address. Like, it's still good to address, So like I said, when you increase the money supply, as a result, it would decrease interest rates. And when you decrease the interest rates, that's kind of like how foreign investors will look at it and be like, I don't want to put like our savings in there, So they would demand less of our dollar, resulting in a depreciation of our dollar, And because if it depreciates, this is kind of good because then our exports would go up because our currency is a little cheaper, but our imports would decrease because we can't buy as much as we could before. Or like vice versa, if interest rates increase, foreign investors would want to save more because they would get more out of it. And as a result, we'd be appreciated. And then our imports will rise because we'll get more money or more bang for our buck,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, but then our exports will kind of suffer because they don't want to buy from such of an expensive currency.
True.
Let me see what you got so far.
I think my notes are pretty decent at this point.
Really? Solid. I think that'll be on the test. You see that?
Oh no, it's time.
Big bang, tight, low bang, bang, big bang.
In a world where there's economic upturns and downturns, 2 IB economics students by day will have to become Expansionary Man and Captain Contractionary by night in order to save all the economies of the world with monetary policy.
Dr. Monetary, we got your signal. What's going on?
We have 2 countries in trouble that
2.
only monetary policy can help them.
Shut up. 2?
2.
No.
It's not good.
We can make it.
What 2?
Mexico?
Oh no.
Ah, Mexico. I thought we dealt with them with the border.
It's okay. And India.
India.
Oh no, dude.
I thought, don't they have like 8 billion people to help them out?
It's not enough. They need you too. They need Expansionary Man and Captain Contractionary.
I mean, I know.
Say no more.
Say less.
Mexico is experiencing a huge recession.
No.
That's you, dog. That's you.
Job for Expansionary.
What do I need to do?
You're gonna have to buy bonds or
Buy bonds? Say less.
perfect. And India's experiencing super increased inflation. You're
That's
gonna need
easy,
you.
bro. That's easy.
We're gonna
Oh.
need you to sell bonds because you're
Sell bonds.
Captain Contractionary.
That's exactly what I will do.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan, dog.
You guys think you can do it?
I think we can do it. I
Try,
mean,
but
being loyal members of the Federal Reserve, like this is what we signed up for.
And it's
No, we knew
still
what we
better
were
than
getting into.
fiscal. Way better than fiscal.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. They suck.
Them fiscal boys
They're a bunch of
miss me with
losers.
that. Miss me with that.
Straight losers.
Okay.
We'll get on to it.
All right, let's get
Update
it.
me.
Right?
Let's get it. Watch our back out there
Of course.
in the mean streets of economics. On our way to save India, right here lies the portal to India. All right, let's go. What is this strange land of India? Oh no, there is India, struggling from. Oh. There's only one way to save them. We gotta sell them some bonds. India, would you like to buy some bonds? I'm just gonna force it. I'm selling him bonds right now. Oh, he's back.
I think it's working.
He's
I think it's
alive.
working.
Oh,
I think it's working.
oh, we got him.
Yes. Yes.
Easy job for Captain Contractionary. Dude, I can't believe we just saved India, but like honestly, just another day at
I
work.
can't believe you did it. But you
Like
know.
we did it, but it has gotten me like so tired, dude. Like I'm absolutely exhausted.
Dude, that
and
flight
drained.
to India, too long.
Like I'm so slumped, dude. I got jet lag too. Like it's really getting to me right now. Like I could really use a break.
Welcome to our spa.
That was a long break, dude.
I'm kind of stuffed.
Like, but that was a necessary spa.
Yeah.
Like it definitely needed to happen to just like inform like everyone about how great the Federal Reserve truly is.
For sure, for sure.
Like,
You know what? Now I'm kind of like, I got so much energy after that lunch break. We gotta go save Mexico now.
dude, I completely forgot about Mexico. Like, but I can't do that. I'm contractionary. They need expansionary. That's all you.
Yeah, freaking expansionary, man.
Ooh, you are massive, dude.
Let's
I
go.
get it. I wish you Godspeed out there. Godspeed.
Yeah. Ready to hear save Mexico, you know? Oh my gosh. He's so injured. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta buy some bonds. We gotta buy bonds. We gotta go. Buy bonds. Oh my god.
Oh, Dios mío. Oh, Dios mío.
Did we just say
Gracias.
Mexico?
Gracias,
Did we just
señor.
say Mexico?
Gracias, señor.
Monetary. We just saved 2 countries. How do you feel?
Amazing.
I know, we did such a superb job. Like, show us the results of what happened after. Like,
All right, I'll show you on a money market graph.
okay. Facts.
This is interest rate, not to be confused with inflation.
Okay.
Demand of money,
I like demanding money.
supply money.
I love it when people supply me money.
Okay. So for Mexico, since we use an expansionary monetary policy,
Yes,
the
yes.
supply money is going to shift to the right.
No doubt.
Causing interest rates to decrease and quantity of money to increase.
Dope.
And for India,
Yes.
same graph. Since we use contractionary monetary policy, supply money will decrease.
Yeah, I'm so glad we saved India.
Causing interest rates to increase and quantity of money to decrease.
What about the dotted lines? Aren't those vital?
Oh my gosh,
For sure.
I was too excited.
I know. We all get a little too excited sometimes. I really love the statistics. Wow, such a superb job, Dr. Monetary.